Oh, yeah. Ready to rock and roll.
All right. Welcome back to the Windshield Deep Podcast. This is Episode 6. You're listening to the voice of grassroots racing. My name is Landon Huffman, and sitting beside me, as usual, is my co-host and friend, Dylan Wilson. And so got a little bit different podcast this week because Cup and, well, actually all of NASCAR was off this past weekend for Easter. And me and Dylan got to go on a nice little vacation.
Oh, yeah, beach trip. That was good times.
And, yeah, we had a good time there. So we're going to change it up a little bit, like I said. And I think we're just going to start with some short track racing this week because we usually do the NASCAR weekend recap. But since we don't have that, we'll go ahead and start with some short track racing. So what you got for us, Dylan?
Well, this weekend we have the Cars Tour going to Wake County, which is that's going to be big. As we both know, it's a quarter-mile little D-shape. I've been waiting all year to watch this one. I was hoping to make it, but sadly we'll get to that later. But anyway, Cars Tours at Wake County, and we have a whole list of a lot of people are finally getting their season started this weekend.
Weather's a lot nicer now.
Weather's nicer. So let's see. Saturday we've got Fairground Speedway, which is the ARCA series, and you're spotting there, right?
Yeah, I'm going to be spotting for Zane Smith for MDM Motorsports. It'll be a 41 car, so I think we have a good shot to win. Zane went down there and tested and was really fast, so looking forward to going down there. It's always fun to go with MDM to the racetrack, and I think we'll have a good shot. Yeah,
so and we also got Wake County, as I mentioned, Car Store, late model stocks. Fairground Speedway in Nashville is also having the North-South Super Late Model Challenge, which is sanctioned by the Car Store. So it'll be in two different places, but they're also sanctioned by CRA and Southern Super Series. So that ought to be a big Super Late Model show as well, up there with the ARCA series.
Yeah, it's a good show. Last year, I spotted for Mason Mingus down there, and CRA put on a really good show. I think Cole Rouse led the whole race and had something break with like a couple laps to go, and Bubba Pollard won.
Yeah. Then we got Dominion Raceway, which is the late model, their portion, the late model stock series. Their weekly series is opening up, so that's also King Sport is racing. They raced this past weekend, though, I believe, right? Chris Van Dyke won.
I don't even know.
I believe so. Also, Myrtle Beach is racing. South Boston's racing. Thompson's racing with the modifieds. NASCAR Wheel and Modified Tours racing there. Let's see. So that's pretty much most of the asphalt tracks. But you also got All-Star Sprints at Williams Grove. A lot of crazy stuff going on this weekend. USAT National Midgets, Kokomo. So, there's racing going on everywhere. It's finally that time of year.
So with Lucas Oil, isn't all of World of Outlaws running with that, or how does that work? Because I know Max McLaughlin, I think, is racing his big block modified this weekend. I don't know where. I don't know anything about the dirt stuff, but I do know Max is racing because I've seen him make a post.
I don't know what series he would be in.
It's the sanctioning.
Oh, well, here we go. Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series is going to Batesville.
There you go.
So that's awesome. Batesville, that's home of Mr. Martin, am I correct?
Yep.
Batesville, Arkansas. So that's cool. I'm sure Mark will be there. He's a dirt racing fan. I think he sponsors a team or something like that as well. So, yeah, a lot of racing going on, so that's cool. We got a lot of good short track racing, which is always fun. Can't beat that. But what I want to talk about is something we talk about every time they race, and that's the Cars Tour. They're going to Wake County, which is a nice track. Well, actually, it is a nice track, but it's also a very small track. It's on an old dirt road behind a trailer park. Well, not a trailer, it's like old garages, I should say. It's an older track for sure. Used to be dirt back in the day. It's not got national attention, obviously, but
they're not NASCAR sanctioned.
Not NASCAR sanctioned, and you will know it as soon as you go there. No shade thrown, but I mean they operate different. Practice is almost scarier than I don't even know how to. It's like a hornet's nest in practice. I mean you'll be out there running a lap and a guy will cross the track, like walk across it. Oh, Jesus, back her down.
Walk across the track.
Yeah, but I like Wake County in particular, because last time we was there, we got this bad boy. I'm pretty sure that was the last time they had a lone race. So We did run there this past year. Didn't get a win, but we had some good, strong finishes. But it's a great track. It's going to make for some hellacious racing.
I'd like to go down there and race one time.
Oh, my God, dude.
When you were running every week, I was going to come.
Yeah. Yeah, we was hoping. I remember you talked about coming down. It's so fun. And it really, to me, I've always thought that track is almost like going to rehab because it's so small and you rely so much on turning. You forget about the aero stuff and the stuff you worry about at bigger tracks. You go there and you make your race car turn, and you got to be able to mash on it, and that's how you win a race at Wake County. So it's cool to take a car there because every time I've taken a car there, I've went somewhere else afterwards and been way faster. So, but the car store being there, that is going to be insane. We need to get the entry list.
I got it right here.
Okay, I was about to say we do have a producer this week.
Our Jizzle is in the house.
Yeah, the Jizzle's in the house, and we have a new setup. As you can see, we didn't really talk about that, but
oh yeah, welcome to the new studio.
Yeah, we're
I forgot about
evolving a little bit. We're kind of short. This table is genuinely wrapped last second because I didn't like it because it was white and it looked weird, so I wrapped it with some extra blue I had. Kind of matches the blue here a little bit, not really, but looks cool. Carolina Duke-ish blue. Landon's in Duke blue today. I don't know about.
I'm not even a Duke fan. I had to support the Goodies Dash
series. How about that? Yeah. But new setup. We're in a more open area. We've got a lot of junk cluttered right now because we're kind of moving into our new studio. I'm trying to take over an old office here, so we'll see how that works out. I might get kicked out, but we'll see.
Yeah, once we get it rolling, I think it'll be a lot better than where we were at.
So anyway, you got the entry list here?
Yeah.
So entry list for the Cars Tour at Wake County.
Only 19 on the entry list, but I'll go ahead and read them all off here. So only the late model stock portion is running this weekend.
Yeah, so it's a one deal show, which actually
they have some supporting series.
There's some supporting series, yeah. So they've got, I think, mini stocks and maybe some street stocks and bandoleros or something.
But like you said, the car store's like a dual sanction or whatever with CRA.
Mm-hmm.
So that, like you said, the CRA guys are running at Nashville. So that's probably why. I think they're making more of an effort not to overlap each other with the
which
super
is
lates.
What short track racing needs.
That's what they needed to do anyways, to try to, make each field better. But just running down the entry list, Deke McCaskill and Bradley McCaskill are both racing there.
Mm-hmm.
I think Bradley actually races there pretty often.
He doesn't anymore, but back when I would race there, I did run with him a few times.
Craig Moore, Cody Haskins, Brandon Pierce, William Chappell. That name's not familiar to
William
me.
Chappell?
Yeah.
Is it number 4?
Yeah.
Yeah, I used to race against.
So
his name's actually Thomas Chappell, but it might be a different chap. But I raced against a guy named Thomas Chappell at Wake County, and he's a good car. He might be a threat there.
Pulliam is going down there, which is surprising to me.
Yeah.
I didn't expect him to go down there. Sam Meyer, Charlie Watson, Ty Gibbs, Grayson Coulter, Bobby McCarty, Tommy Lemons, Justin Johnson, Corey Walker, Ronald Hill, Trevor Ward, Josh Berry, and Lane Riggs is on the entry list, but I don't know who's going to drive his car.
Broken collarbone from dirt bike racing.
He broke his collarbone
Damn
on the
it,
dirt
Lane.
bike. God. Maybe I need to call old Scott up, see if I can slide in the seat. No, we hope Lane gets better. I hate that.
Yeah, that sucks.
He's a young kid, and he's made a lot of waves in short track racing, and never want to see anybody get hurt. That sucks. So I'm sure they'll race, though, because they're trying to keep up in the owners' points. Actually, they committed to the Tour in 12.
So
yeah. He'll have to race.
I think he can, I'll say this because I don't have a broken collarbone, but I think he can do it. Collarbone, hell, you only need one arm. You just use that right hand. I think it's his right arm. You can just use the right arm to guide it. Actually, a good friend of mine, Boo Boo Dalton, he's the one-arm bandit. He drives every bit of it is one-handed. He just leaves his right hand on the bottom and just grabs it if he needs it.
The one-arm bandit?
The one-arm bandit, yeah. He had a video one time that I thought was crazy to me, but
I had to race one-handed one time.
This is Wake County, so you are holding on for dear life, and you're getting bumped. Just go ahead.
Yeah, I had to race one time one-handed at Hickory in a super truck. It kept jumping out of gear, so I had to hold her in gear, and I smacked the fence leading the race.
Yeah, that's not good.
No, it knocked the whole right side. It was an old sheet metal body truck, so the whole right side started coming up down the straightaway.
Oh, boy. So, anyway, going back to the entry list, I guess we need to go ahead and make our picks. Now, last time we made picks, we're going to do this kind of like Larry Mack and all them guys do it. For the year, we're going to do a point system. So there's been 2 car sort races at this point. The first race, if you pick the correct pole winner, well, we changed this format. So we both picked the correct pole winner, Josh Berry, first race. So we both get a point for that.
All right.
Forget the limited race because it was a joke. So we both picked the pole winner. So we both got a point in the first race. Second race, what did I get? I got the late model stock. I got them both right. I got a dark horse winner in supers, and I got my correct pick right, or my winner pick in Lee Pulliam. So you didn't get nothing.
I didn't get nothing.
I'm ahead in the points, so I've got a total of 3 points 3 points. You've got 1. So I'm making ground. So you gotta really think hard here, and we're gonna start off with our dark horse pick. Let's start off with the winner. Who do you think is gonna win this weekend at Wake County in the Cars Tour late model stock division?
My winner, I'm gonna have Bobby McCarty. I think
Bobby McCarty already won one race this year, so
he's gonna put another W on the board this week.
Okay. Let's see here. Winner at. This is tough. I think I could go with. I'm gonna go with. I know this is kind of boring for a pick, but I'm gonna go with Josh Berry because he's an aggressive guy. Like he'll shit and get when he needs to, and he's fun to watch. I think he will fit right in at Wake County. He's not afraid to use the bumper, and he also texted me and asked me what year to run. So he's definitely my pick. So that's all I needed to do. He's got my pick. I'm buying an 88 shirt for this weekend.
You can buy an 88 shirt now.
Yeah, Touring 12 has their own merchandise, which is really cool. I don't know why there's not a Windshield Deep shirt in there as much as we talked about the Cars Tour.
I know. Chris Rago, if you're watching or if you do listen to this, you need to help us out there.
Yeah. Steve Meadows asked a minute ago, any word on who's in the 99 with rigs out? I don't know. I don't think he's even announced he's not going to race yet.
No, we're still working on that. I'm going to make a call to Scott here in the next little bit.
Maybe Scott. God dang, why don't he drive the damn thing?
Honestly, I bet you Scott fills in.
Yeah. Why don't Scott
It wouldn't
drive?
surprise me if he does.
So anyway.
Or if he doesn't. Or does. Blah, blah.
My dark horse for this weekend. Let's do something cool. Let's do 2 dark horse picks this weekend.
Hell, there's only 19 cars in the field.
Well, I want 2. Okay, I'll just give an honorable. I'll do an honorable mention pick and a dark horse.
All right, your honorable mention don't count.
I know, but my dark horse pick is Bradley McCaskill, and he's not necessarily a dark horse because he's obviously runs good, but he hasn't. He has won a Cars Tour race, but he hasn't. I guess you can say he hasn't ran up front much lately, but he's always there. So anyway, Cars Tour at Wake County. This guy's raced there. He probably lives 30 minutes from there or something, I'm pretty sure. I've raced against him there. I think I've seen him win a race there. So Bradley McCaskill is my dark horse pick. And I'm going to give an honorable mention to Corey Walker. I actually raced it. He races there weekly too. So I'm a fan of these weekly guys. But he's definitely, I think he's got a chance. He always ran good. Me and him were always door to door, it seemed like, running there last year. So Corey Walker, that's cool to see him racing it. I wonder if Clay Jones is racing because he has won probably 50 races at that track, and
he might show up like as a late entry.
If Clay Jones is there, my pick turns to that. But anyway, Clay Jones would be good too. I don't know if he's coming or not, but he's
my dark horse is going to be someone that I have no idea. I don't know anything about this person, and I'm just going to go off of what Dylan just said. And I want to pick a local person anyway because I think that's a good. I feel like those are all your dark horses, is your local guys. I picked Yarborough last week, or at the Myrtle Beach. So I'm going to pick. We'll go with William Chappell or I guess that's
Now, as of last, his name is Thomas Chappell,
yeah.
the one I raced against. So I'm not sure if maybe that's just his real name or something, or that might be someone else. But if it's the same car, then it's a good car, and Thomas is a great driver. So I'm sure if that's a brother or a dad or something, then he's not bad either. So yeah, that's cool. So I've picked Barry to win. Landon picked Bobby McCarty to win. I also picked my dark horse is Bradley McCaskill. Landon's dark horse is Thomas or William Chappell, being a local guy. I also had to give an honorable mention to Corey Walker, who is a local guy there too. And another, like I said, Clay Jones could show up, and that guy's going to be top 3, about guaranteed. He's always up front there. So, and he raced last weekend in the limiteds at Southern National. So, I'm sure he was getting ready to go. So, yeah. So 19 cars on the entry list. I honestly expected more than that. But maybe, I'm sure some guys will show up there here and there. But it is I raced there with about 15 cars one time, and we was lapping cars on lap 2. Like, it's when I say it's tiny, it is a quarter-mile track shaped like Richmond. You can't bring haulers into the track. You got to park on the outfield or outside of it. And
good stuff.
Yeah, and here's an advantage that me and you would have if we actually got to race this weekend, Scott Riggs. We have an open trailer that we use to race with, and you can park those on the inside. Come on.
Extra 2
That's what we
tents
hauled
also.
that bad boy home with one time. So, yeah. How about that? A lot of open trailers at Wake County. So,
boss man Eric Wilson just texted into the show and said 123 laps of tire saving.
yeah.
I'll take who is 10th at lap 100.
That's
It's a real abrasive asphalt.
Yeah, it is killer asphalt. Like I said, I've got to run quite a bit there, and it is not quite Myrtle Beach. It's not quite at that level. It's not 2 laps, you're junk. But it's damn close. I've worn my left rear tire and my right rear tire out before I've wore out a right front, because you're just
It looks fun as hell,
whopping
though.
off the
when
corner.
you're that close to people, anything can happen. So,
Yeah.
Somebody 10th could easily
Oh, yeah.
have a shot at winning it if there's a late race restart.
Yep. Yeah, definitely someone that's gonna. I think he's right. It could very well be a tire saving race, and whoever's you gotta really, if you're in 10th with 20 to go and you've been saving tires, you better have a strong ass bumper bar. That's all I got to say. You gotta have a Bowman Gray bumper bar to get through there. So
Can't be afraid to move somebody.
it's gonna be fun to watch. Got to watch that on CarStore.tv this weekend for sure. It's a few hour drive for us. So I don't think we're gonna make it, but we'll definitely be watching on TV. Anyway.
Talking about your racing, and how you ran down and won at Wake County. More on the topic of this year. What's next for you? And an update on your motor. What's the deal with what you guys got going on right now?
Yeah, well, I guess the last time we kind of talked about my situation, I was actually down in the dumps a little bit because I had just ran over a lead rail that put a hole in the radiator, and I want to cuss real bad right now, but I'm not going to do it. Put a hole in the radiator, put me in the fence because it vaulted me up. I showed pictures, but I'm not going to do that again. But anyway, didn't know that it put a hole in the radiator because it did it so fast that all the water drained out. So, of course, the water temp stayed the same because all the water was out of it. So I was like, I'm good. I'm going to go win this damn thing. My toe's knocked out. I'm still going to pass these guys on the outside. Next thing I know, well, it didn't grenade, but it started smoking a lot. Blew gasket and stuff. Got it home. Thought everything was good. Started to do a leak down on it the other day, and water was pouring out of the spark plug holes. So that's never a good sign. Thought it was a cracked block. Turned out not to be. It was a blown head gasket, or we thought it was a cracked head. Turned out to be just the gasket. But we ended up sending it to the dyno, actually, just to double check, because we're not going to go out there and grenade a new motor just because there's some kind of water in there or something. You never know about a hairline crack. So I was at the dyno today. We're waiting on it too. We're waiting for the results. I'm sure that Dad's probably got them by now, but we'll find out soon. So anyway, if that's all good, had it been done last week, I would be racing this weekend at Wake County. It's not. Hopefully it's done, and we have enough we're definitely not going to be getting an enclosed trailer anytime soon. So we will try to be taking the open trailer back to Hickory next weekend. Hopefully run the next 50-lap limited race and get some redemption, because I need it. And we got to get that little monkey off our back and that lead out of my face. And as soon as we get that out of the way, we're going to be we got a fast car, so I'm looking forward to running several more times this year. How about your situation? I know that he texted me the other day a little salty about the approval process, and I feel like we've talked about it a lot, but let's hear the inside scoop of how hard it is for a guy that's won several countless late model races that others in any top 3 division couldn't come to Hickory and do unless they're, well, not in our boxes of crap. They could probably do it in something that they've run, but anyway, I would like to see it. So speaking from someone that should and could run any division, let's hear why you are not approved yet to run anything other than Bristol and Martinsville.
So we've been on a little whirlwind for the past month or so. I gotta like tone it down to about a 4 here while I'm talking about this. We didn't make it to Martinsville. The team I was going to go with ended up not having the funding to go, and the weather was looking bad, and it just didn't work out.
This is the rant cam. We just
rant cam.
This is the new rant
debut.
Cam.
So didn't work out to get to Martinsville, and it was just aggravating for one. But then I was like, well, we'll just we'll turn our focus to Dover, and I figured I would be approved to go to Dover, with it being a mile track. I've ran Bristol, I've ran Martinsville. The next step would be to run a mile. So me and the agency that I work with, we've been working on some sponsorship to go to Dover, and we had a company that was interested, and I needed to get the go-ahead that I was approved to go, and NASCAR called me last week and told me that I'm not approved to go to Dover yet, and they told me that I have to run a slow mile before I run a fast mile. And I said, that makes a lot of sense. I wonder how many slow miles Seneca drove before he got to run a fast mile. So that really ticked me off. So I got to brainstorming, and I asked him, I said, okay, well, what if I run Talladega in the ARCA car? Will that approve? Oh, yeah, that'll approve you to go to Dover. Yeah. Like, well, that makes a hell of a lot of sense. I said, because, that kind of racing completely translates.
Yeah, it's totally the
definitely
same.
Exactly the
there's
same.
No difference there.
Yeah, Dover and Talladega, those are like complete identical racetracks.
All about the draft at Dover.
Yeah. Yeah, it's all about aero in the draft at Dover for sure. So I was like, and they're like, yeah, that'll work. So got on the phone with ARCA, and I knew it was going to be a stretch to try to get approved to go to Talladega, but I thought there was going to be a shot, and ARCA told me that they can't approve me to go to Talladega unless I run a personal test there. Well, that's $10,000 to go run around Talladega, which is basically like going out here and driving down the interstate for, 10, 15 minutes and calling it done.
Exactly.
So I asked them, I was like, well, why can't you approve me, through practice? Why can't you observe me during practice? Well, they can't do that, which I understand. I understand ARCA not being able to approve me for super speedway. But they said, I am approved to go to Charlotte, and as long as I run the test there. So that's kind of what we're shifting focus to now, because of all the problems that NASCAR's put me through, and not necessarily singling out anyone there, because I know that's their process and that's how it works, but it's majorly flawed, and it needs a lot of work done to it.
No, most definitely.
Because there's no reason why, someone like myself, any other kid racing at the local level that has the ability to advance up the ranks, there's no reason why all these roadblocks are in the way, and
especially with tools like simulation and stuff like that they have nowadays. That
there's no reason why. I mean, for one, they're turning away someone who could probably make a difference in the sport. Definitely more than some of the people that are on the racetrack right now.
Yeah,
anyways,
it's what we talk about every week. There's just such a disconnect from the top level to grassroots racing.
And they're also turning away a sponsor, which in this day and age, I don't feel like they should be turning away a sponsor at all.
No.
they're taking a competitive truck off the racetrack and substituting it for somebody who's going to run 12 laps and park.
Being that the third most successful driver of all time, arguably the second, just lost his sponsor of Lowe's, Jimmy Johnson, I think you should take what you can get, especially if you got a young talent coming in. A guy, I mean, you had, when you ran Berlin, you probably would have won that race had John West Townley not fenced the whole field. But
got chickened.
Yeah, got chickened. Chicken boy.
So nonetheless, I mean, it's a lot of issues. It's like I feel like I'm hitting one roadblock after another.
It's a reality show
with this.
It's bad.
I mean, really, if someone followed me around, you wouldn't believe all the stuff I've ran into over the past year. You know, some of the personal stuff that's happened to me, race team to race team, and that kind of thing, which is a different conversation. But you know, moving forward, I guess kind of my next step is we're working on sponsorship to go to Charlotte and ARCA car. And
Dylan Hauser has a strong point.
And then let me finish my thought here, and then we'll get to that. So going to Charlotte in the ARCA car, that's the next step. And if I do that, that'll approve me to go to Gateway in a truck.
And that's running the race in ARCA?
Yeah.
They're running at Charlotte?
Yeah, they're running at Charlotte end of May. But see, that I was trying to make the truck race at Charlotte also, but that isn't going to happen now because I can't get approved. Yeah, that's before the Charlotte race.
Yeah,
so
that sucks.
The Charlotte race is the 600 weekend.
And a local race or a race where I would assume racing at Charlotte wouldn't cost as much as racing in
it's a lot easier to find a sponsor
in Talladega or something.
Yeah.
So it's cheaper travel. You can find local sponsors, local supporters that's within their demographic where you could find people that knew you and could sponsor you.
Yeah.
So that's terrible how they work that, and yeah, like Dylan said, you've got people. I don't know if we should single anybody out, but I don't know what's his actual name. I don't know. We'll hold off on that. But yeah, there's people that show up to Hickory and run limited late model races and run dog ass last by a long shot behind girls that are 13 years old that's never been in a car before. He's running behind them, causing wrecks on restarts, pulling out in front of the field, coming out of the pits. And he is in a Camping World Truck Series truck on occasions at New Hampshire. How many times did he spin?
Okay, well, Atlanta also.
Yeah.
I mean, he just ran Atlanta.
Yeah, I didn't see the result of that. I know he was 6 seconds off the pace or something in practice.
It comes down to a safety hazard. I mean, when you look at it that way, I mean, there's this. We could do a whole podcast just on this topic.
Oh my God. Terrible.
I don't know. There's just like Dylan said, the disconnect, and we've talked about it before, but it's just ridiculous that you have to jump through all these hoops to try to get to the next level in NASCAR, especially when the first barrier for someone like us is money, because we definitely don't have that.
Yeah.
And to be able to get
and then when you get an opportunity, you can't do it because they want to prove you.
That's what NASCAR doesn't understand. We don't get to pick and choose where we go.
Yeah.
Like, I can't just say, oh, well, I'm going to go run an ARCA race at Kansas. It doesn't work that way. Yeah. I go where...
They've got to start some kind of system.
There's no reason why they can't do on-track appraisals. Like, why can't you watch me race at Bristol, watch me race at Martinsville,
exactly,
and say, okay, well, this kid stayed out of trouble, didn't do anything stupid. I mean, didn't tear his shit up.
Yeah. I think he can handle an ARCA car at Charlotte.
Yeah.
I think he can handle a truck at Charlotte.
Yeah.
So that's a little wild,
But it is what it is.
So that's our current situations. I've got motor problems. Landon's got approval problems.
We'll keep chugging though.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a temporary barrier. We still got the long run inside, and I feel like we have a lot of good things working for 2018 still. Like I said, we're going to try to work on that ARCA race at Charlotte, and then my plan after that is to go to Iowa, Gateway, Chicago in the truck.
Yep.
And then we'll keep trucking after that. So
is Iowa considered a slow mile?
It's 3/4 of a mile, so I'm already approved to go there.
So you're approved there no matter what.
Yeah, and that's another thing.
In a truck?
Quick. Yeah, that's another thing real quick is they took New Hampshire off the schedule. New Hampshire is considered a slow mile. Well, now that you've taken that off the schedule,
how many slow miles is there?
Phoenix,
Gateway?
That's the only other one. Gateway's bigger than a mile. So I have to run. That's why I say I have to run.
But last year you wasn't even approved to run Phoenix, right?
I couldn't run Phoenix in the Xfinity car.
Oh.
Yeah, because I had the deal to go to do Phoenix in the Xfinity
God.
car, and I couldn't. But it is what it is.
A lot of junk there for sure.
Whole lot of crap.
I guess it'd be a good time to take a quick break. We've been live for about talking for about 30 minutes, so we'll take a quick break. It won't be that long today. Come back and talk a couple more things, kind of like a tire barrier explosion at Hickory, the Easter Bunny at Hickory, Philip Morris situation, and maybe a little bit of Cup stuff here and there. But yeah, stay tuned. We will be right back with y'all. Oh, and we're back. This guy just had to go get a snack and a bathroom break. But
I have
anyway,
to pee like 3 times.
I have to call you out on that.
I have to pee like 3 times
every
show.
podcast. He has to use the bathroom more than any human being ever should. But that means he's hydrated, so that's good. Anyway, we're back. We got to thank Carolina SimWorks, a new friend, a new partner of ours. He jumped on board. They make some high-quality sim rigs. And a sim rig, for those of you that do not know, it is basically a racing simulator setup. The monitors, the mounts for the monitors, all the way down to the chassis. I'm pretty sure he installs the computers themselves and all that. You know him a little better than I do, but he does all sorts of work, and he does it for a lot of top tier drivers. So check him out, Carolina SimWorks. Also Fox Tactical. That's the outdoor supply backpacks. They got tons of stuff. So.
They got pretty much anything tactical. Different lines of military, and then they also got backpacks similar.
I love my bag. I used it at the beach. It was the real deal.
Yeah, they got duffel bags. I'm gonna have my own line, Landon Huffman collection that they're coming out with. It's gonna have my LHR logo on it. And it's gonna be duffel bags. I think they got a couple of drawstring bags. They've got just all kinds of different variations of stuff, similar to 511 or OGO, stuff like that. Yeah. But they're really high quality. I use mine for everything, and
I can't wait to use. You're going to get me a few more because I can't wait to use them come deer season.
Yeah, I know.
That's going to be legit. Also, Heavenly Sweets Catering, always bringing us the good food. We also got Blondie's Restaurant, my daily restaurant. I eat at every day. Also, my race car sponsor, so you always know that Blondie's machines will gonna be looking good. One Designs Wraps. I know that guy pretty well. He wrapped this table earlier today because it was white and I didn't like it. And also PRW Chassis, the leading provider. That may not be true, but it feels like it's got to be true because it's on every car.
Whole lot of people.
PRW Chassis. Lots of high speed chassis. A lot of big time drivers. Lee Pulliam uses a PRW chassis. So they're all over the place. Also, they got a part store inside the shop, so you can get whatever you need there, late model stock wise. So, anyway, moving on. A hot topic this past weekend was the Philip Morris situation, and basically, everybody was mad because he didn't break the rules.
Yeah,
he put on 2. I'm gonna let him do the technical side, but this is what you see on Facebook. He cut a tire at the end of a race, the second twin. They had twin races, right?
Yeah.
End of the second twin, he had a tire go down. He spun out because of it. He came in the pits. He put 2 new right sides on, right? Because there was no rule against it.
Yeah.
Went back out. Winner.
So
anyway, I'll let you handle the technical side of that.
My buddy Anthony Alfredo was up there driving for Hunt Sellers Racing, and he finished 5th in the first twin and ended up getting in a wreck in the second one. But I watched a little bit of the first one, and after he wrecked in the second one, I didn't watch the rest of it. But I ended up seeing a little bit on it, and from my understanding, Philip had a tire going down and self-spun. He didn't spin because the tire was going down. He felt like it was going down, so he spun himself out. And then,
so that's what the argument's about, whether or not he spun out on purpose.
I think it's somewhat that, and the fact that he come down and put either stickers or scuffs
or
on
2
the right
really
side.
good tires. Yeah.
And went back out, and I think there was only like 9 or 10 cars on the lead lap or on the racetrack at that point, so they had a restart, and
the leaders wrecked.
Yeah,
they wrecked each other. That one guy, I don't know, the pink and green car was leading.
Brendan Queen.
Brendan Queen.
Yeah.
He was leading. Someone was underneath his rear end, like the actual rear end housing.
Windshield deep.
I mean, that guy needs to be on our show.
Yeah.
He was windshield deep underneath the leader and pushed him all the way around the racetrack. Eventually, I think got around him. Then the 03 got back into him, or somebody was pushing. I don't know, but they spun out. 2 of them got sent to the rear. Then that put Philip in like 6th, and then he just
blew by everybody.
Yeah.
It was a big ordeal on social media, though. Dale Jr. called him out.
Yeah, and, Dale Jr. too.
And I think this is more of a, I don't blame this on Philip at all, other than the fact that he self-spun. If he did, I mean, maybe he should spun out.
If it wasn't Philip Morris, it wouldn't be a big deal.
I mean, if our Jizzle spun out because he had a tire going down, then that's understandable.
Goddamn right, we're putting 4 news on that
Yeah.
renegade. Come on. Put on new ones.
But if it's Philip Morris, so he's been around the block. He understands the situation. He probably knew he wasn't gonna have a shot, so hell, well, why not? He tried it, and I think the biggest problem here is that Langley doesn't have a rule on this.
Whether or not he spun on purpose, which he had to if he had a tire going down. I mean, that's I mean, whether or not he did, if he did, say he did spin on purpose, like people are saying, there's not a rule on it. I mean, why wouldn't you do that? You know what I mean? Like, goddamn, if I could afford buying 2 extra stickers or 2 extra new tires, other than them 347 lap tires that I have in the shop, I'd put them on too. You know,
Remember the weeklies.
Yeah, got them backup 2006 Matt McCall UARA tires.
Them things are a match set.
Yeah,
but I
don't
mean,
think
I don't
they had
know.
barcodes back then.
When I look at it as a fan, I'm like, well, that's kind of cheap. Like, that sucks. If I was racing with him, I'd be pissed off. I'd be raising hell. I'd be yelling. I'd be cussing Langley up one side and down the other. Yeah, I mean, you got to be pissed about that. I mean, this guy just come in and put 2 stickers on and went back out, and he's a half second faster than the whole field. Of course he's going to have a shot at winning or win. Yeah. But I don't know. I don't blame this on Philip Morris at all or Forrest Reynolds or any of those guys. I would have done the same thing if I was driving it.
Yeah.
The issue I have is with Langley. I mean, they clearly, I seen Dale Jr.
Bad roll.
Yeah, Dale Jr. tweeted at them, and they're like, well, what would you suggest we would do in this situation? And Dale, laid out all these rules, so I'm sure Langley's going to have a new rule come Saturday.
Yeah, that's funny. God has spoken.
Yeah.
God has came down and spoken his word. So anyway, at the end of the day, he followed the rules. Wow. I don't know if that's a good. I mean, he didn't break the rules, so
it's a gray area.
It's a gray area. He didn't break the rules. He
That's
won the
what
race.
NASCAR's
He got
about.
the trophy.
Gray areas.
And I'm sure Travis Bird had some dilly-dillies over that.
Yeah.
So he so that's good. Good for them. Happy for that team. It's always cool to see a guy like that win races, no matter how it happens. And he's going to win more races this year on tires that are probably twice as old as the guy that's leading. So he's a wheel man for sure. So another thing, speaking of some more short track racing, there was a wreck this past weekend at Hickory Motor Speedway during the Easter Bunny during the last chance race. Don't know. Let me look at his name real quick. Jimmy Doyle went for a wild ride this weekend, or this past weekend at Hickory. They're at Hickory. Well, let's just show them the video first.
Yeah, let's watch the video first, and we'll talk about it.
Let me just make sure we're where we need to be. Like I said, we're still kind of new at this. Hang on, bear with me. Okay, so this is the Speed 51 page. Video credit all to them. Speed51.com. Obviously the plug for short track racing. So let's watch this real quick and see what we see the reaction. No good. Absolutely no good there.
Could have been a lot worse.
Yeah.
I mean, it looks terrible, but impact wise,
did he look how fast he let his window net down, or did it rip off?
Damn, look at the roof.
No, he's flipping. Yeah, he's just flipping. That wasn't a greenhouse. He's completely flipped.
Oh, I know he did, but the greenhouse came loose.
Oh,
see?
God. Yeah, window net is already down.
Windshield's out of it.
Windshield deep there. Yeah, window net is already down, so either he is the bravest, biggest set of balls person ever, or it ripped out. Yeah, it definitely came out. So that's good to see. To see a man walk after that, that's big. Uh-oh.
So
going to dirt racing.
So after watching that, we have all those tires, in turn one now, because our buddy Travis Bird, probably a good, I'm gonna say 2012. Travis, maybe 2013. Travis.
It wasn't 13 because I was racing there that year, and I know
it was 2012. Then it was a limited car. He was in the purple 7, and he got turned around backwards going into 1, and backed into what was then a tractor tire. Was
It
all
was
that
just
was there.
one tire.
One tractor tire that was in front.
I didn't know they used to have just that.
Yeah, the wall came just like the end of pit wall. It was just another one of those. Travis backed into it, and it popped it all the way up on its nose and slammed it back down, and he actually hurt his back in that.
So.
So then after that, they didn't do anything, which you would think they would. But they didn't do anything to it. And then a year later, my buddy Ken Webb from...
Yeah, the former kind of announcer guy, always hung out at the track. I haven't seen him this year. But
yeah, he announces the dirt track now.
That's right.
But he was driving in the Vintage Series and hit that damn tire head on.
The tractor tire.
Yeah, the tractor tire going into one, and it popped him straight up in the air.
Yeah, literally.
And then fell down like on its back and rolled over, and it hurt him pretty bad. They had to take him to the hospital and hurt his back in a couple of places, and it was a bad deal. And so after that, they put in the tires. All those
they
tires.
basically put in like probably
A cushion.
50 or so Hoosier tires, old Hoosier tires, and just stacked them around that end of the pit wall.
It's probably not the greatest thing, but I mean, really, there's nothing else you can do there except building the crossover gate, and that's just way too much money because Hickory has no money.
Well,
so
I mean, at some point they're gonna have to do something.
I mean, yeah,
because dude, last year the same thing happened to a 4-cylinder. I thought that guy was dead because he hit it. He got turned right going into freaking one. Turn right, Eddie Gilbert.
Oh yeah.
Turn right, head on. Spun in the air, landed, throttle stuck, and went into the pit road and almost hit the ambulance, but he hit the tire, luckily, and it was still spinning. I'm like, oh, God, this guy's knocked out or dead or something. But luckily, thank God, he was all right, but it was not good. And the guy that wrecked him, don't know who it was, but he deserved to get his ass kicked, honestly.
Charlie Neal.
Who?
Yeah, Charlie Neal.
Oh, I don't
He's
know who that is, but yeah, yeah, that was bad.
Banned him.
I mean, he right hooked him. He didn't go windshield deep and pun his ass. He right hooked him and tried to kill him.
I mean,
but
that's that
was terrible.
And that was a 4-cylinder race. There was like 3 cars out there.
Yeah, if that.
I mean, they had a hell of a battle though.
That was bad. That was real bad. But dude, I don't know. I mean, I understand that it costs money, and that's not a track promoter thing. That's a track owner thing, and the owner, I feel like eventually he's gonna have to step up, put some money on the table, and get something put in there, because that is a scary place to hit the wall, and it's a dangerous place to hit the wall for people in any division. Don't matter how fast you're going, that wall can be hit very hard. Clearly, some of the best drivers in the country can hit it. So, that's no good. Hopefully, they put a stop to that eventually, because that's not.
I don't think we'll see anything change anytime soon there, money-wise. I mean, going off on a little tangent here real quick, the money situation there, the owner's not very involved anyways, so it's all promoter. Mm-hmm. And, when you go to some place like South Boston, Motor Mile, the difference between those places and a place like Hickory.
You can't expect a promoter to pull all his money and put into the track whenever he don't even own the track.
No, but the problem is that places like South Boston, Motor Mile, they are not tracks that are running for a profit.
Exactly.
They have people that are funding these tracks.
They've got race fans owning the tracks, essentially.
Right. The promoter's putting money into the track to see it excel.
Yeah.
They want to see it prosper. They want to see cars at the racetrack. They want to see good racing. Where at Hickory you have, a situation where it's a source of income for someone, and so there's not going to be any extra money put into that. And it'll be stagnant for however long we see it without trying to upset anyone. But
yeah, that's you can.
It's sad because I feel like there's a lot of things. There's a lot of people that I think could be a benefit to Hickory, and honestly, I would really like to see Dale Jr. be involved in some form or fashion with Hickory Motor Speedway. He has ties to it.
They just need an investor at the end of the day. They need someone that comes in and says, here's money. I mean, the promoter, you can only do so much as a promoter. And I think they need someone to bring money in and say, here you go, do this, do that, and get that done. Whether it's a repave, God forbid, or if it's a cross, or if it's a gate, if it's upgrading the concessions, upgrading the bathrooms that you can see over.
The bathrooms are bad.
The stalls are bad.
I don't think repaving's not an issue.
Well,
I mean, I think
know.
if you put that sealer down like they did that one year, that lasts you for a good 5 years. I mean, that's not an issue. I think that facility-wise is where Hickory needs an upgrade because
it's
before long,
track.
shit's going to be falling apart.
I mean, it is old as hell.
Before long, you're going to walk out of the bathroom, and that thing's going to fall down right behind you.
Yeah, the one of the worst things about Hickory is when, before a race, speaking of the racers here, this is all, everybody else ignore this. Before a race, sometimes you got to do what you got to do. You got to use the bathroom. And I'm not talking about a number one. And typically, when you sit down in certain bathrooms at that track, you can literally see over like the top of the stall. You're like sitting down, and the stall is right here. Like you're just kind of just chilling. Everybody just kind of, somebody walks in, hey man, how's the car? Oh, it's pretty good, not bad. So we'll get off that subject. But yeah, we need an investor to come in and upgrade tracks like that. Dale Jr. would be awesome. Steve Meadows had a good point a minute ago. He's speaking of the Philip Morris situation. He said, "Hey, at least Junior was watching. Everybody thought that was cool until he made the second tweet. Then all of a sudden, it's a bad thing because Junior says so." And I don't think it was. I mean, he was just making his suggestion. They tweeted him. He clapped back. You know what I mean? So
yeah. I mean,
he told him what he thought.
Yeah, I mean, he was a fan essentially at that point, and he was chirping back like any other fan would. Yeah,
so
I think that's acceptable.
And he had a good point to the things that he said clearly. So
yeah, I was glad he was watching. Yeah, I mean, I think that he needs to. I really like how this really doesn't have anything to do with, Langley or anything like that. But I really like how Junior is developing. He's slowly evolving from driver, like big time driver, to all around short track
race fan.
Yeah, like he's being more active on social media. He's engaging with people that he never would engage with before. There's a lot of stuff taken away. You can definitely tell that there's a lot of responsibilities that are no longer on his shoulders.
Exactly.
There's a lot of burdens that he had while he was driving, and a lot of expectations that he no longer has to deal with, and he can put forth more effort into his late model program and into what's happening at the short track level, and I think that's good.
Yeah, and speaking of the Easter Bunny race, Preston Peltier won the race, and that was his 5th win at the Easter Bunny. So that's a lot. That's a lot of wins in at a single event. 5. I believe it's 5. I may be wrong, but Preston Peltier with 5 wins, so that's a big. He was the winner of the race, and Bubba Pollard was in it. That was who I would say would have won, but I didn't really get to see the race. So
Shane Lee finished second.
Shane Lee?
Yeah, Shane Lee finished second.
Did not know Shane Lee was racing that race. That's cool.
He's making his Xfinity debut at Bristol coming up here in the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, RCR car, so that'll be cool. Old Shane Lee, got to race a lot with him back in the day. He's moved up through the ranks, so that's cool to see a guy from Hickory come up and move up, which is cool. So anyway, we've covered a lot of short track stuff, so that's awesome. I always have fun doing that. So I don't know. What do you think? What's next? What's the next thing we should cover?
So one thing we talked about last week, and then we went to the beach and we forgot about it. And it was kind of an off week anyway.
Well,
so.
We had to enjoy. We're being big time podcast guys.
Oh yeah,
you have to.
Sometimes that
happens.
Have
to get away. We've been doing it at the time. We were doing it for 5 weeks in a row, so it was really big. We've done 5 episodes now, so it was insane at the amount of work we've put in. But,
sometimes.
So we needed to get away, and we forgot to tweet stuff. So anyway.
Yeah, sometimes you'll have that in big time auto racing.
Yeah, big time auto racing. So
anyways, one thing we talked about last week is the award we're going to start doing, and I'll hit on that just a little bit again. But we're going to start doing a grassroots driver of the week, and it's going to be presented by the Windshield Deep podcast.
Well,
and,
actually, not necessarily driver. It can be someone that makes an impact on the sport outside of drivers. So
the grassroots award of the week, we'll say it's that.
Yeah, this week it's Dale Jr. So go ahead and DM us, Dale.
Hit us up with that address. So we
hadn't picked one.
But. So yeah, what the award's going to be, if you didn't catch it last week, is we're going to do a poll every week, and it'll be drivers. Could be a crew chief, could be a fan, anybody
someone
that
making
nature.
a positive impact on grassroots racing.
Yeah, and we're going to do an award for them. It's going to have a little banner each week commemorating that date and that specific award. And then if it's a driver or if it's a fan, whatever, we're going to have a small square.
Yeah, just basically like a
winner
decal that you get for winning a race at so and so track. We're also we'll send you a few decals that you can stick on your minivan or stick on your race car or whatever, and we'll be sure to post those pictures on the podcast and give you a nice shout out. So that'll be definitely cool. So starting this week, we're going to post it tomorrow. We're going to post just a regular post to start off with. We want you guys to comment names of people you think that is deserving, and I'm sure a lot of them will be posted later on in the week, being that all the races are this weekend. So we're expecting to have a pick. We're going to pick it by Monday night. So just we're going to make a post. Everybody just comment who you think should win the award, and then we'll go from there and pick one out. So
I think it's going to be something cool that'll grow each week, and the more people we get on the page, that's another thing. If you're watching and you enjoy what us two idiots have to say, then share it on your page and invite people to like our page, whatever, because the more people we get watching, the more cool stuff we can do, and the more attention we can draw to grassroots short track racing and all that good stuff. So we appreciate you guys that have tuned in every week and helped us grow, because we have made a lot of progress over the past 6 weeks, and as you can see, like I said, we're in our new little studio
set up a little better.
And,
we're
upgrading our equipment.
Yeah, that's the main thing. We got to get a little bit better equipment to make things easier on me, to get it all set up. We're gonna have a setup where we can have a couple guests at a time. That would be cool. There's a couple people that is interested in joining the show that I'm really excited to have. I mean, I guess we can't say anything for sure, but one that is definitely going to be on eventually is Clay Rogers. And that's going to be really fun because he is a mega advocate for short track racing. He is a champion of the Snowball Derby, a 5-time Pro Cup champion, ran several truck races. So that's going to be an awesome guy to have on. So hopefully in the next couple of weeks we can get Clay Rogers on. Might even have a cup driver very soon. Couple more people. We'll have Reddick back on, I'm sure, one day.
Yeah, we'll get Tyler back on. Now that he came last week, he'll probably go win Texas this weekend.
Yeah, so every time he comes to my house, he wins the next race. So, like, we would have a party for my birthday's in February, which is, like, a week before Daytona, and he would come over for my birthday or your birthday in January. And every time he'd go to Daytona, he'd win. So, he won Daytona in trucks. He
brought
won
back
Daytona.
a trophy.
Yeah, brought back trophies. So, hopefully, he's probably going to win Texas this weekend. So, pick him in your DraftKings this weekend. So, anyway, I think this is a good time to close off the audio version of the podcast. We've been kind of slack on uploading audio, but it's literally it's tough to do because I have to go in and edit like each section of it and make sure the sound's right for SoundCloud. But this one will be up tomorrow. I will upload this audio tomorrow for sure for anybody watching live that wants to hear everything. If you missed a little bit, obviously the on-demand's on here. But
we were a lot more streamlined tonight too. So once you click the on demand this week, it goes straight into our show. We've been a little late the past couple of weeks, but now that we've moved into this little studio area, and
it's a little easier for us now. So
we're getting better at our equipment. So
yeah, for sure. So the audio podcast, we're gonna close that off now. Thanks for listening. But stay tuned. If you're listening to the audio version right now, be sure to tune into Facebook next week, and you'll be able to join in our Q&A session. We may have a guest on, we may not. We don't know yet. Be sure to also vote for the grassroots person. What do we call it again?
We'll do it. We'll call it the Grassroots Racing Award of the Week.
Grassroots Racing Award of the Week. So we're going to be sure to vote on Facebook. Be sure to watch our live videos on Facebook and YouTube, and we will upload this audio to SoundCloud. So thanks for listening, and we will be back with you next week. And with the Facebook thing here and the YouTube, probably obviously more active on Facebook, but we are going to start the Q&A now. So if anybody wants to do some Q&A stuff, be sure to, we'll still ramble around for a little bit until you guys start asking questions.
Real quick, huge thank you to Carolina SimWorks, Fox Tactical, Heavenly Sweets, Bondi's Restaurants, One Designs, PRW Racing Chassis, and all you guys who have listened, thus far. If you personally, or anyone that is interested in wanting to be a small sponsor of the show or help us grow what we're doing, then by all means reach out to us. You can contact the Windshield Deep Facebook page, or my personal Facebook page, or Dylan's personal Facebook page, whichever you would like.
Yeah, it's good. We don't. It's not like we're a mega podcast, but we can get you some good experience. We got some good content. I feel like I take pride in what we talked about.
Yeah,
and,
for sure.
It's good for short track racing. Maybe just a small dent, but we can do it slowly and make it bigger. So yeah, and it's low cost stuff. So if you ever want to join, then do that. If you want to donate, we actually have a donation page now, which is you can donate $1, you can donate $5. It don't matter. Just it helps us out. It helps us make things easier on us, so we don't have to pull it out of our pocket. We can spend our money on racing tires, so we can go run some short track races. But
I didn't mean to cut Dylan off there, but So like I said, thank you to all of our sponsors, and I appreciate all of you guys listening. And as always, this is the voice of grassroots racing, and that'll do it for our audio version for episode 6.
So now let's do some Q&A stuff. I know you guys are just dying to ask the two idiots here some questions. By the way, what do you guys think about our new cartoon characters? I got the camera a little off, but you got my nice cartoon drawing of me. You got Landon over there.
I got to get a beard added to mine.
Okay, well, I didn't have enough money to do that. It cost extra $2. It cost $2 more.
I gave you an extra couple dollars.
No, I'm just kidding. I couldn't do it. I'll just have to pull a Sharpie out and just dot it up a little bit. Here. Just dot it. Just maybe. I don't know. That might
not be. Do that.
Yeah. Well. Anyway, so we got a cool new logo. Haven't changed. Got to change a few things up. Haven't got to talk about some of the stuff in our logo, including Darth Vader and an Xbox controller. But anyway.
Well, we do have the new Star Wars movie is coming out.
That is true.
Before long.
That's true. Yeah.
The Han Solo movie.
Are there any other Star Wars geeks? Probably not. But
we'll talk about that when it comes closer to time.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a different subject. But anyway,
would we be down to come out to a? What's up, Chris? And will we be down to come out to Lake Mont Race, Wisconsin? Absolutely. I mean, that would honestly, like, if we can get the show big enough, and as my racing develops, and Dylan as well, we would love to be able to go out there and actually race. But if we can't go out there and race, then maybe we could bring the podcast out there.
Cool to, take it on the road.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
Take the 1964 Winnebago out there and
have a good time.
Have it on the. Well, I don't know if the Winnebago would have Wi-Fi, so we have to work something out there. So maybe we can, team up with a broadcasting team that maybe broadcast a race one day, and we can go out there and hang out with them a little bit and do some pre-race stuff, maybe some of the bigger races. So we'll have to work something out there with some of the bigger. We need to call Bob Dylan or somebody at Race 22 or something like that, and maybe we can work something out. That'd be cool to help out the short track racing world, and also have some fun while we're doing it. Let's see. We have. We're gonna go through some questions now. I liked that. Somebody said. Chris Marshall said, "Voice of grassroots racing, dilly dilly." I think we might change our tag now. I think he actually came up with the.
No, Jeff Addison did.
Jeff Addison came up with the tag. Okay, so I like that.
Chris, although Chris did make a little donation to the show, he I just sent him a couple of model cars not too long ago, and he sent us NASCAR Racing 2002, and then
that's a stream for we got the room now that we can set up a racing stream, so I can set up the simulator up here. Maybe get Carolina SimWorks involved in that, and we could set up a Carolina SimWorks simulator and fire up some NASCAR 2000. What, 3?
I think NR 2000 or NR2 is what it is.
Okay,
NASCAR 2.
So NASCAR 2.
Racing 2. And then
so
he also sent NASCAR 98, I believe, or NASCAR 99. So
golly. So we'll have
some good stuff to play with there.
So I got a couple more questions going on here. Dylan Stanley said he went to high school with you. That's cool.
Old Dylan. I seen him a little bit. I see him at the racetrack every once in a while.
Yeah. Steve Meadows asked if you're running the Denny Hamlin Short Track Showdown at Langley.
I'd like to. That's one that was on my schedule to start with. If I can find some funding to go there, definitely.
That'd be awesome. I honestly thought about it myself too.
It's not an invite this year, so anybody can go.
Yeah. That's cool.
Yeah, I'd love to do it. I think it would be a good good way to get your name out there a little bit. I
For
mean,
sure. And
you
have
know,
some
obviously
fun.
truck racing and stuff is, but at a late model level, you can go run
Go out there
with
and kick Denny Hamlin's
yeah.
ass.
Kyle Busch and a couple of those
Yeah,
other
go
guys.
race against
so.
the big dogs. That'd be cool for sure. I'd like to see the entry list for that. I'm sure it'll be a few.
Steve,
of
I'd
them.
like to, but as of now, I don't have the funding. So if you know someone that wants to come on board for Denny Hamlin, you let me know.
Yeah, let them know. Brad Noon said, "What in the hell is up, guys? The sky. The sky is up. Actually, currently, some ducks and some light bulbs. So that's what's up. Other than that, we're doing a little talking to a screen. So nothing major. So yeah, it was 99 NASCAR 2, 3, and 4. Golly. So what are you talking about? You had a whole plethora of games.
That's going to be some good stuff. Oh, our Jizzle, producer said that was his heyday.
We have a producer.
RJ's a seasoned veteran in sim racing, if nobody knows that. This guy has made his fair share of laps over his lifetime, and
RJ's a top-tier driver.
he's won a lot of races. He gave a lot of races away. I've seen him be leading with 30 to go and finish in the pits
Yeah.
a good number of times. But, yeah, we might have to have a friendly competition one afternoon and stream it and maybe go
that would be
head-to-head.
cool. Maybe we should start doing the God, what's that dude's name that gets on NASCAR America and runs test laps in the what's his name? Parker Kligerman.
Yeah.
He runs some test laps on iRacing Sim. Maybe we should start doing previews.
NASCAR 98.
Yeah, previews. NASCAR 98 previews to the actual
This
short
is
track
where you
racing.
left at
Yeah.
Hickory, right here. You're
So
gonna
right here, when it renders, we're gonna lift right here. So just wait a minute. We're froze. Hang on. All
let
right,
it
now we're at
rotate
it.
down to the concrete patch. Now you're going to be wide open when you get to the concrete patch, all the way off of turn 2 to the backstretch, down the straightaway.
And Seth Brotherton said, "Sure as hell can't tell it with the way he drives that Renegade."
Well, we're still working on the transition phase. You know, RJ's been sim racing for so many years that
Yeah.
it's been hard for him to make that.
Transitioning from iRacing to Renegades is a big step in life.
Yeah, actually, RJ stepped into a street stock for old Larry Mosier there
That's true.
until he spun out and about crapped himself. And
I
after
bet
that,
Larry
got scared.
I bet Larry's butt clenched so tight
It did.
that he had a hard.
He
had a
farted, and it
very-
sounded like when you blow on a piece of grass.
Shrub it. Oh man. Yeah, so- What other? What? How about this? I got a question I want to ask. If you were a Cup driver, what would be your dream off week trip for you? What would you do?
Dude, I have no idea. If I had an off weekend this past weekend,
Mhm.
I want to go race the Easter Bunny. If
Okay,
I haven't
good. I was
won,
gonna say the same thing.
if I haven't won the Easter Bunny, like those are races that I've grew up watching, and those are races that I want to win. Like I was just talking to
for sure.
RJ not too long ago about Nashville. Like if I'm a seasoned truck veteran or Xfinity or whatever I'm doing at that point in time in my career, if I have a chance to go run the ARCA race at Nashville, you better bet I'll be there.
Oh yeah,
You know, I want to go. I want a dang guitar, man.
that would be big for the sport as well. So
But yeah, I mean, I would if I'm not racing. I don't know, man. I'll just hang out. I'd like to think at that point I'd have me a nice little family.
Say
and,
you had no budget and you were unmarried.
that's dangerous waters.
All right, well, bad question. Sorry, Brooks, if you're watching.
Yeah.
Bad question.
That's not realistic.
You were married, or say you're in the same. Say you were a Cup driver tomorrow. There was no race you could go to. What would you do as your vacation?
I think I'd let Brooke choose. I mean, I don't know.
God, you're so dry. Just pick something.
Bahamas, something. I
Bahamas?
don't know. Go somewhere where I can sit on a beach, drink a mixed drink, and look at my girlfriend in her bikini.
I like it. That's more like it. So I think, what would I do? I don't know. Probably the same thing. Probably go to the Tiki Bar in Myrtle Beach. Come on. Seen some karaoke this past weekend. I got a standing over. I didn't really. Actually, I don't. I don't think I got any kind of clapping, but I did. Seen Toby Keith. I love this bar at karaoke. So
B said Bora Bora.
Bora Bora. She wants to go to Bora Bora. Wow. I had to ask Allie where she'd want to go. I don't even. We're going to Destin, Florida, actually later this month.
Oh, later this month. That's where my mom already bought my graduation present. Apparently, we're going on a trip to Destin when I graduate, but I don't graduate until December because I'm a semester behind.
Oh no.
Yeah, so
Well, we're going to. I'll let you know all the hot spots if there's any Senor Frogs or
Senor
tiki bars
Frogs
down
is
there. I'll let
pretty,
you know. Me and my friend Aaron Lambert's going to go play some golf. We're going to take our honeys down there and sit on the white sand and have some cool beverages. So anyway, we got a new question here. Do you think they will show late model racing in the spotlight like the ASA series in the 90s?
To be honest with you, I don't know. We're getting closer to that. I mean, Fans Choice TV.
Fans Choice.tv, Mav TV, obviously Speed 51 Car Store. I mean that. But
yeah,
we're
but
talking about
Fans Choice TV, they broadcast it live. That's
Yeah,
how I
which
watched
is
the
awesome.
Langley race. Yeah, and they actually broadcasted the K&N race at New Smyrna live back in February.
Yeah.
But I think they do select short track events.
Is that free?
Mm-hmm.
So it's free to watch.
Yeah, it's free to watch.
Dang, I didn't even know that.
Free to
I gotta
watch,
get with
and
Well, I was at the we was at the beach.
for the Langley race, yeah.
I didn't have any signal. I was at Ocean Lake, so
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a possibility, but I think, honestly, I think streams like fanschoice.tv and what Cars Tour does for their races, those are going to be almost as profitable in the next year or 2 years because people are starting to watch that more and more. Yeah,
because they're going to get. I mean, if all they're going to play on, they play Race Hub and they go into some random soccer match or something.
It wouldn't surprise me if Cars Tour eventually reaches the TV status that the Hooters Pro Cup did because it's the same people running it as Hooters did, or Hooters was, same management.
And you should. It's I don't know, man. You would just think that. I mean, imagine if there was a live TV or televised race, like say they did the Martinsville race. There would probably be 150 late models show up for that. I wouldn't be surprised at all if there's usually 70 or 80. I would be not one bit surprised if 100 odd cars showed up. Probably 130 cars showed up for a late model race just because it was on TV. Because I mean, everybody wants it. I mean, god dang, if there was a late model race on TV, I'm gonna go take my car to it. I mean, who wouldn't?
Free advertisement.
Yeah, free advertisement, and you get to watch yourself on TV.
Chris asks what the Easter Bunny is. Easter Bunny, if you're not familiar with it, it's a
Easter Bunny 150 or
Easter Bunny 150. It's a Pass South race, so Pro All-Star Series, which is super late models, and which is what you're probably familiar with, but super late model, and it's just a big Southern tradition at Hickory Motor Speedway. They run every Easter weekend, and it's got some cool-ass trophies, and it's definitely one that I'd like to win.
No kidding.
They give out second place trophy and a third place trophy. Not a big fan of that.
I would Kyle Busch spike that thing.
I'd give it to whoever won.
I'd spike it.
Here's a first and second place.
I'd give it to some little kid in the stands, actually. Here you go.
Yeah, that's probably what I would do.
Give it to a kid in the stands. Here you go. This is not going on my shelf. Finishing second.
No.
They should tandem. They should do a late model stock one, 100 lapper or something. That Easter Bunny 100 and do a late model race. And I'm sure the 150 pays pretty well, being that a lot of bigger drivers go to it. I mean, Bubba Pollard went to it. He doesn't go to small shows. So, the Easter Bunny 150. It's a super late model race at Hickory Motor Speedway. On Easter Sunday. It was on Easter Saturday this year.
Yeah.
So the day before Easter this year. So it's always on the weekend of Easter. So anyway, we got a bunny for third. Come on. So who's that? Brandon, I guess. Brandon finished third, I think. I believe, right?
Must have, yeah.
Yeah. So.
Well, Nick helps Brandon.
Yeah.
So
that's what I assumed, unless he's changed teams and Brandon told him to leave the team. He may have done that.
If I'm not mistaken, Nick just got a job at ThorSport Racing. Is that true, Nick?
Being a guy that is a big-time truck driver, why do you not have the freaking Facebook app installed on your phone?
It's too many notifications.
You use this. You can turn I don't have notifications on. Just turn on god dang no notifications and download the app. He turns on Safari.
I don't like it.
And gets on his damn Facebook. I mean, that's just
it's easier to operate.
It's not. It's really not.
It is. I'm telling you.
How do you even manage a page from there?
Here it is. Yeah. So So Nick got a job at ThorSport Racing. So congratulations, Nick. That's pretty cool. That's a hell of a drive. You gonna drive all the way out there?
Where are they at?
Aren't they in? Where are they at, RJ? Ohio. Yeah. You driving all the way to Ohio every week or every day, or are you moving? Did you relocate for that job? But congratulations nonetheless. That's pretty cool. I always like to see people. Nick's been around the short track world for a little while, and it's neat to see him, have a shot to work with a larger team.
Yeah.
So
did Brandon spike the Easter Bunny thing that he got for third place? If not, we can give it away on the show. We need something.
I need to call Brandon. That's somebody else we need to have on here.
Yeah, Brandon Setzer would be a great addition to the show.
He hangs out with us a good bit.
Brandon Setzer and all sorts of people we could get. We need some suggestions. Who do you guys want on the show? Who would be good to talk to? And who would give us some good content? We don't need no slouch. We need somebody that gets fired up about short track racing.
Yeah, comment who you think we should bring on here. And Steve Meadows said ESPN used to cover late model stock race in Martinsville years ago. Yes, ESPN used to do a lot of stuff. I remember seeing ESPN Thrills and Spills from like 1997.
Yeah, I was about to say it was Thrills and Spills or something like that.
They used to have all kinds of late model stock wrecks on there. My dad was like predominant in a lot of those late model stock and Goodies Dash wrecks. Yeah, he'd come off before in a Goodies Dash race at Hickory and turn the leader out in the outside wall head on and cause a huge wreck. He was the only car that came out. And then he's also in there in a 37. Cowboy.
Said cowboy.
Oh, that's dangerous.
Yeah, I don't know if anybody knows
that'd
who
have
Cowboy
to be
is.
like that'd have to be if you're not familiar with Cowboy, I just can't.
Everybody says Cowboy.
There's just no words. Like you just have to meet him. I mean, it'd have to be. We'd have to change our name to Windshield Deep Podcast After Dark. if that was the case,
bringing Cowboy on this show would be a terrible idea. How about some others? Yeah, Ty Majeski. I would like to have him on. Not Cowboy.
Terrible idea.
Speaking of fans that we could have on, what's the one dude's name? And you probably don't know, but there's a dude that has attended like every damn race ever in late model stock history. He has a real big gray beard, and he wears like old school hats that aren't really old school to him because he's had them since he was, 20. But
I was gonna say Marshall Sutton, but
no, he's golly. They usually post pictures of him. He's always there. But anyway, that guy would be cool. It'd be cool to have some like hardcore race fan on to really hear their perspective on what they should think could happen. Which I will probably have to install a bleep button for here. But
if we had Cowboy on, we would most definitely have to pre-record that and then post afterwards.
Well, that would be.
I feel like we'd have to move studios. We have too many like fragile cords and stuff. Like, I feel like Cowboy would start laughing and like tear our whole table down.
Come on, man. Yeah, that would be good.
Brent Wentz. I've talked to Brent a little bit. He's the man when it
Tell
comes
us
to
where he can get his stuff. I'm watching the replay here. Sorry, we can see ourselves and see the replay. So
it's delayed.
It's kind of funny. But yeah, Brent Wentz, that's the guy I got the Tim Richmond hat from. So
yeah, I get a lot of my stuff from him.
Yeah, so he is the. If you guys, what is his actual? Do you know what his company or
Days Gone By Vintage
Apparel? So if you guys are ever in the mood for a hat like that, that's where to get it.
You need to hit him up because not only on his website. If you go to his
Twitter,
well, yeah, that. But I got to go to his shop, and I went in his shop, and he was refurbishing a Richie Evans modified from back in the day that he got from somebody. It was the original modified, body and everything. But he has an entire storefront in his shop, basically, just like it's like vintage heaven.
Do you know what one of the best things about short track racing is?
What's that?
Is when in an interview, I got to do something for this, but
I got another one too.
In an interview, people tend to, or on track interviews, they got their helmet on, so it's like, let me just get a good representation of how that is. They'll get asked. Hang on. They'll get asked a question. God. They'll get asked a question, and I don't know if you can hear me real good, but...
Here, I got you right here.
Give me a question.
All right, starting on the pole tonight for our limited late model Twin 35, Dylan Wilson driving the Blondie Chevrolet. Dylan, tell us about your car tonight. What are your chances of winning?
Real good. I don't know. I can't really hear you real good, but car's great. Blondie's is real good, and I'm fast as hell tonight, so we're going to see what happens. Thank you.
There you have it, folks. Dylan Wilson, driver of the Blondies, restaurant number 1.
Short track interviews inside the helmet. That should be a new weekly thing we should do. Post that. We should start posting. I almost put my sunglasses on. We should we should start posting bad short track racing interviews. That might be detrimental to the sport.
You also have that's definitely a good topic, because you also have the people that get out of the car. They won like the Renegade race or something. Usually it's like your Renegade, your street stock guys, and I think that mostly stems from those guys. They just work their ass off on their cars. Like, not that we don't, but man, that's their pride and joy. Like, mine is too. But man, some of those street stock guys,
they are their mechanic, the crew chief,
everything,
and the spotter. And the driver.
And they get out of their car and they're like, man, I'm just so happy to be here.
Real good.
So happy to be here. I just like to thank my mom, my dad, my grandma, my great aunt, Aunt Delilah, my dog, my cat.
Bob's Country Diner.
Everybody for being here tonight, supporting me.
You can't beat it. Oh, no. All right, let's see here. We've got some more comments here. Oh man, the guy from Sobo I think it's Keith, big beard and nice to talk. Yeah, I think he also has been to Caraway a lot. That's the guy I was talking about earlier. It's been to all sorts of races.
Steve knows who he's talking about too.
Yeah, I don't know his last name. His name Ronnie. That's it. It's Ronnie. Ronnie's the guy. He's literally everywhere. He'll go to like 3 short track races a weekend, and that's the guy. Those interviews with the drivers with their helmet on. yeah, those are great ones. Roger Pitts still holds the best interview in the world. That is true. Yeah. I can't play that though.
No, that's for the After Dark episode. Chris, we'll eventually have we'll do an episode or two where we can have people call in.
Yeah, that's coming really soon.
Yeah, that way you guys can interact, and that'll be a lot of fun. We'll actually do that through the actual podcast.
Mm-hmm.
We'll do the Q&A deal too, but we'll have a call in for the actual audio version too.
Yeah.
The Pitts interview, that's a classic, man. Corey Latham really hit gold with that one.
Yeah, that revitalized Corey Latham's career in journalism.
That is by far my favorite interview.
Not that it was ever hurting, but good night.
That entire collage, episode of interviews. You got me like, man, I don't know what happened. We finished second to Shane Lee again. That was a terrible year. I finished second so many times. Finally, the last race of the year, I just moved Shane out of the way for the win. That was in limited, but yeah, that was like that was a wild year.
Yeah, that was good. Yeah,
I wish we could just pull up that interview. Do you feel like it's
It's a possibility. If you I had to focus though, so you'll have to do the talking here and the comment reading, but I've got to pull up some. It's somewhere. Someone has sent it to me before in my messages, and I don't know who sent it. Golly, it's been a while ago. Friend of mine, I can't remember which one sent it, but it was
I think it's acceptable to play it, definitely.
Yeah, I think it's actually bleeped out, but
does
anybody have
that's less fun.
If anybody knows what we're talking about, can someone
and have a link, and send it to us.
God dang, I can't remember who. Someone messaged it to me. I just can't. I have no idea who sent it. Was it Brandon? No, maybe not. No, it wasn't Brandon. It might have been Seth, or it was somebody like that. I got it. Hold on. Oh, we got a producer doing his job finally.
About damn time.
Yeah, we're getting a hold of it. But anyway, it was the Roger Pitts interview, and it was real good. Yeah, you're right, Dylan. It's on YouTube, but you had to look so far back on Race 22. I doubt it's like featured. So.
Yeah, I don't know that. Yeah, that was
If you find it, RJ, send it to my personal Facebook Messenger, and I will pull it up.
Yeah, when we play this, if you have your children or
if
anyone
anybody's watching,
that
make
sure you turn it down a little.
Not fond to cussing. It does drop the F-bomb, I believe, 2 times. So
yeah, there will be a disclaimer.
Yeah, so we would bleep it out, but we don't have a bleeper. So
we're working on that also. We'll have that before Cowboy comes home.
Yeah, so
Dylan will have to be quick on the keyboard there.
Yeah, it'll be kind of tough. Bleep. It'll be delayed.
It'll be after it.
But the Roger Pitts interview was one of the oldest. If we get a hold of that, that's gonna be beautiful. God dang, I really wish I could find it though.
RJ, you gonna send that baby or what?
I'm trying to find it. I thought I had it.
Oh,
somebody messaged it to me. Jesus, I can't remember who did.
been a while.
Swear.
I went with Casey and Dylan.
That's when I got a W. Got a W that night, I believe. God, stupid.
There's got to be an interview for me somewhere on there.
There is.
My skinny days and my fat days.
Oh yeah, I don't know, man. I can't find it.
Go back to the stream.
Can't find it. Casey has it. That's who sent it to me. It was Casey. Yeah. It was Casey Pierce. Let me find that real quick. He's right. Lambo just said. Casey, here it is. Thanks, we're at it. Oh, Jesus.
Oh yeah, be careful.
Oh,
there she
here
is.
we are. Here we are. Okay, so let me pull this up first.
It's only the pits version.
Now try to make it full screen so we can see it.
Yeah, hang on. We're new at this, so just give us a.
F11.
You know shit's about to pop off when
Yeah.
you see that.
Yeah.
So hang on, give us 1 second here. We're gonna have it for you. Let me. I've got to kind of like redo the stream here, but. All right, so. Let me pull it up. All right, so. Forewarning, there's some bad language here, but it's the greatest short track interview of all time. Pissed off.
That was me.
Mm.
You say they could hear it, RJ?
Can't
Oh,
hear it. God
no.
dang. Yeah, you should be able to.
Go to the stream and see if other people heard it.
I know, my bad. If y'all didn't see it. Oh, jeez. Okay,
Oh,
they can't hear.
damn.
Hang on, redo.
Hold on.
We're gonna try this one more time. It's
Hang
just
tight.
Q&A, so just give me 1
Yeah.
second. I promise I'm gonna have it right here.
Yeah, it's well worth
It's worth the
this little
time.
effort
It just
here.
takes a second. Give me 1 minute.
God,
Okay.
I ain't got much longer. I gotta get up early. I gotta open at the Y.
All right, I got it now. I think.
Start it over.
Through the bottom of the corn down here, planting corn twice on me now.
I know I got it. Sorry, it's hard. Here,
All right.
now we go.
Here sat on the pole tonight, like he's buying your time. You and Zach there, the 55, got into it there in the race. He was getting under. What happened there?
Zach, you mean No Talent Motorsports? Oh, I'm sorry. Well, what happened was the fool drove in through the honeysuckles again, through the bottom of the corn down here, planting corn twice on me now, and drove into the quarter panel again. I mean, I don't know what his deal. I guess that's what happens when your aunt fucks your uncle. And that's exactly right. You know, some inbred shit happens. But I mean, we can't help his ignorance. But
The
I mean,
55's
not
right
only
there.
me,
Yeah, right behind him.
the 75, the 00, everybody up through here has got it out for him. And the time's coming. And you think last time was bad? He's got it coming. I promise you, motherfucker, you will not finish a race next year.
And the last time,
Almighty.
the last time that he's talking about is when I was running third and I went to the outside, made it 3 wide, coming to the white flag, and them two wrecked each other on the bottom and come back up across the racetrack and destroyed my car.
Yeah, I hope everybody heard it that time. I had to redo it about 3 times, but yeah, they
That's
got it.
exactly right.
That's exactly right.
Rachel said this. That's
Dude,
exactly right.
I'm telling you, that was the greatest interview in short track. That should be our intro. Golly.
Dude, we could make that our intro.
That's awesome.
We need
That,
to cut
by the
a-
way, I don't want to cut anybody. That was a race 22 video,
Yeah.
so we don't want to.
I'm pretty sure Corey Latham was
Corey,
the,
I believe Corey Latham. Yeah, that was definitely Corey Latham. You heard
Yeah.
his voice, but yeah, that was race 22 video that we just showed you of Roger Pitts talking about Zach Bruinder after he got After Zach drove through the honeysuckles and
planted corn on him
planted
twice,
and he promises you.
Yeah, the 75 he was referring to is myself, and the 00 he was referring to is Shane Lee.
Yeah.
So those were some good limited days.
Yeah, that was 2012.
Those were
a year later I showed up. That was
races.
the last year on Goodyear's, and then we switched to Hoosiers the year thereafter, and that's when I showed up. I never got a chance to race on Goodyear's.
Your first year was about like my first year in limited.
How's
We both struggled a little bit.
No, I struggled big time. Like my first probably 10 races. I mean, I went from go-karts to that.
I know, that's how I went from
nowadays,
go-karts to
they've been
limits.
racing Legends cars for freaking 3, 4, 5 years and getting it limited, and they're good. But, yeah, it was a tough learning curve. I mean, I was turning the wheel like this, thinking that that's all I needed to do. And I was like, God dang, tight as hell. And Dad's like, turn the freaking wheel. So, yeah, it was a tough learning curve. I think about the end of the year, I think I got my first top 3, so I worked into it. But
yeah, I remember like your
but it was
third or
a
fourth
tough
race.
year. I mean, there was freaking
25 cars every week. But I remember like your third or fourth race. I was leading the race,
Third.
and caution come out. Dad's like, Dylan's head on in the wall and won. I'm like, what? Is he okay? He's like, yeah, he overcorrected. And we watched the video. Dylan's got it somewhere. Old boy gets off in the corner a little bit. She gets out from under him. He Danica's it in the outside wall.
I will take credit. I Danica'd the hell out of the wall. But I did it with grace.
First time in my first year.
Yeah, I mean, I hit the wall a freaking ton.
Yeah.
Like big time impact. Somebody told them I was like the rescue workers came out there and someone told them I was a diabetic. And, I mean, I was, or am, and, they made it way too big of a deal because they thought my level was like 160 or something, which is fine.
Yeah.
And they was like, oh my God, his level's high. He must have a concussion. I'm like, how does that even make logical sense? But anyway.
Yeah, first time
I hit the hell out of the wall.
Yeah, one of the first times that I raced limited, 2010, I ran and Dad stoked me in the fall brawl and I qualified like 10th out of 25. Mm-hmm. And that was like the best I'd ever qualified for that big of a field. And like lap 20, I got in the corner way too hard by myself getting into 3. Lost it, backed it in the outside wall hard. And I'd been running iRacing before that, and I used to tell Dad all how realistic it was and all that stuff. And I remember I hit the fence pretty hard with the driver's side, and Dad asked me if that felt like iRacing on the radio after it happened. Like, no.
Yeah, that's what my dad said. Aaron Lambert here remembers it. He said, hit your marks. Damn, clipped it. Yeah, that's pretty much what I heard on the audio.
We're in it, boys.
Yeah, I pretty much was laying there concussed and said, we're in it. I did get to go to Waffle House afterwards, and that was before concussions were cool in motorsports, so I didn't get to fake it or nothing. So anyway, that was a tough time. And yes, I overcorrected, but I learned from it. I had never raced anything before that. So, like I said, third race, finished real good the week before. I finished like 12th out of 16. So I was like, we almost got a top 10, baby.
Okay, we ought to pull up video from one show of like some of my first races. I remember my very first race I ever ran. They crashed in front of me on the last lap, and I just couldn't get slowed down and locked it up, and just like I was dead last, and I T-boned Austin McDaniel in a limited car. Ooh. And then I couldn't get it in reverse, so I just sat there stuck to him. I couldn't get it in reverse. Oh, God. There's a bunch of times like that.
It ain't nothing worse than hearing your old man key up and say, that was stupid.
Oh, I've been there a lot of times.
Yep. I think we've all been there at some point in our life.
In 2014, I monster trucked Shane Lee for 7th place. And that was probably, I thought I was going to die that night from both my dad, from Moffitt, from Mike Lee. That was a terrible night. Yeah. I destroyed my race car for 7th.
Yeah, that had to be pretty rough. But
me and Shane, we've had our fair share of races.
Larry, I can't read it.
Larry Gunselman. Yeah, when he T-boned Dario Franchitti, you remember that? He was driving for Randy Humphrey.
Yeah. Oh my God, yeah.
Yeah. Chris,
how much does it?
It costs about, if you buy 2 sets of tires, every
gotta
week.
say the question first. How much
No.
does the season cost to race on the Cars Tour? So
Okay, so if you buy 2 sets of tires every week, which to be competitive, I mean, if
You
me
kinda have
and
to.
Dylan went to Hickory, we probably could get away with not only buying
Yeah.
a race set, but if you buy 2 sets of tires every week, and that's not counting the races, that's 6 tire races, then you have to buy 2.5 sets.
yeah.
But
So
if you
a
buy
set of tires nowadays is roughly $700.
Yeah.
So you're looking at $1,400 on just tires.
it's about between $2,000 and $2,500
yeah. So
to run a Cars Tour show.
yeah. So each week, I mean, you need $2,500 to be comfortable and buy all the entries, food, expensive
Yeah.
gas, tires.
Especially if it's not a local show.
Yeah, exactly. So $2,500 is about bare minimum. Honestly,
The payout's pretty good. for
payouts are
Cars
great
Tour.
in Cars Tours. So
You get
You-
back
you-
some of what you put in.
you
You
finish
start the
well.
race, you get 800 or something like that,
Yeah.
600. So
you at least make one set of tires back. So
Yeah.
that's always good. The Cars Tour is good about that, and that's why they have a lot of cars show up. So especially to their 10,000 to win races. So anyway, another thing that I didn't mention earlier about the Cars Tour I thought was cool was this weekend on Friday night before the race they're doing this prelude to the Bull Ring race at a local go-kart track in the Raleigh Durham or Raleigh Wake County area. So I don't know exactly where the track is. You can go to Cars Tour's Facebook page and figure it all out. But if you're going to the event, that'd be cool to check that out. I really wish I was racing, but that's clearly not happening with our motor situation. But anyway, it is.
I'm gonna have to be getting it here before long.
Yeah, it's about time to cut it. But yeah. So Cars Tour 2,500 roughly. They're doing a go-kart race this weekend before, so that's cool. But yeah, so got the new setup going. I feel like it's more comfortable right here. I like
this way better.
yeah, sitting at a table and just kind of shooting the crap for a while, and the Q&A stuff's always fun with you guys. Hopefully we keep growing and
Honestly,
have some more questions here and there.
what we ought to do is some of the stuff we've talked about in the Q&A has actually been really good.
yeah, we ought to start jotting some of this stuff down and
Well,
talking.
what we should do is post the audio version as an episode, and then cut out the Q&A, and maybe you can
Q&A
edit out some of the
audio.
parts where we wait. Yeah, and you can just post the Q&A audio. Cause
Eventually, I'm going to try to start doing some clips. Like, I'm going to clip certain video sections of this where we can just post, like, highlights of the episode, which I think would be cool.
yeah, we need to be more active on our social media, but we just got to have stuff to actually post.
Yeah,
so.
and I think the more episodes we have, the older the show gets, the more content we have. So anyway, we have a new setup, as you can see. We got to work on the wall here, but overall, it looks good. Freshly wrapped table. Went with the blue because I had extra wrap vinyl laying around, as well as our new overlay, as you can see, which is kind of cool. Something that I'm kind of fond of doing because I do graphic design all the time. We got some nice asphalt background. Thought that was fitting. Maybe we could throw dirt on the bottom or something, kind of double it up. But got a nice race car right here. So I don't know. I'm kind of confused now. But got a race car in this general area that you can see. That would be cool to have a windshield deep race car one day. Maybe we could look into that. But
Yeah, not like that though. Like mine and Dylan's car would have a number on it.
no, hell no, no.
Yeah, we're
quarter,
not about
we're not,
no
we're not
NASCAR
doing
Mexico
quarter numbers.
BS.
No quarter numbers. We did that so you could see the logo.
Yeah, that's strictly a show car.
In our ugly modes back here. But yeah, it's our show car. We'll be bringing it to Bank of America tomorrow. Well, anyway, thanks for joining. Thanks to Carolina SimWorks, Fox Tactical, Heavenly Sweets, Blondie's Restaurant, One Designs Wraps, and PRW Chassis. As always, this is the voice of Grassroots Racing.
Share this video.
Yeah, share
All
it.
of you.
Share it, retweet it, vote for the Grassroots Racer.
Grassroots Racing Award of the Week.
God dang it, I suck at that. Grassroots Racing Award of the Week. Vote
Yeah,
for that.
comment
We're
who
gonna
you
post.
think should
We're
get
gonna
it for this coming
upload
week.
the audio to SoundCloud tomorrow. We're gonna post tomorrow, and we're gonna do some sound bites and some clips of the videos. So stay tuned. See you guys next Tuesday at 8:30. Once again, this is the voice of Grassroots Racing. It's been real. It's been fun. Ain't been real fun. See you guys later.
See you. Holy, have to pee.
Gotta end the video. Oh, YouTube's still rolling. Hey, YouTube people. You guys haven't got cut off yet. We like y'all better. Almost at it, though.
That was good.
There was a couple of people watching on YouTube.
Yeah.
What we ought to do for everybody that comes to the show.